This game is so bad. It makes me feel dirty. I need to clean myself up. I need some shampoo and conditioner. Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's episode of The Golden Bolt. I am disgusted in myself because today we are playing SHAMU'S Deep Sea Adventures. When I was first starting this channel up, I made a bet with my buddy Chris, and I lost. So he said I should review this game. F*** you, Chris. F*** you. So I tried looking up the history of this game's development, but there is literally nothing here, so let's just go ahead and do this. SeaWorld is a park. SeaWorld kidnaps orcas and teaches them tricks. One orca is named Shamu. Shamu got famous, now all orcas are named Shamu. This is a video game. Well, as we start the game up, we're treated to a title screen of Shamu making really disconnected splashing noises. Then we choose our difficulty. You know me, go hard or go home. And then, like most PS2 games, we select a file slot to save our game in. Wait, hold up. Why are there 10 save slots? I guess the developers just knew this game would be a hit we'd come back to again and again. Okay, so this game actually starts with Horatio the Manatee explaining all of the mechanics to Shamu.
It is surrounded by a green...
Okay, I don't think you need to explain the HUD to me, but that's not...
and has corals and seashells all around it.
Okay, that's not even relevant, come on.
I want to keep this blue bar full. Otherwise, you may lose your turn and have to start again.
Lose your turn? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize we were playing Monopoly here. Oh, finally, game...
Just swim towards the krill. Glide through it.
Okay, so after like 5 straight minutes of tutorial... What the hell? That is a friggin' Kraken. This game just went from 0 to 90. Holy crap. So Shamu just jumps over SeaWorld's walls, I guess, to run from the Kraken. The Kraken pursues, and Shamu eventually escapes. Now that he's in the open ocean, he can just run free.
I am trapped! Rescue me and complete this mission.
What? How did Horatio get out into the ocean too? Also, I just want to go ahead and point out that this music is way too peppy for a mission where you're saving your friend from drowning. Anyway, Shamu rescues Horatio after completing some daring puzzles, such as these and, well, actually only these.
Find a way to bring water to the center.
Horatio, we're underwater. There should already be water in the center. I mean, that puzzle sure isn't airtight. Whatever. After rescuing Horatio, we decide to chase the Kraken back to his lair. Okay. But by the way, don't miss too many of these purple Kraken crystals, because if you do, you fail the mission. Wait, hold up. What? When did Poseidon get involved here? Okay, I didn't sign up for this. No, that's it. Nope. So after following the Kraken, Shamu gets chased by the Kraken again. Why? What purpose does that even have to the plot? I promised I'd review this game. I'm gonna. But I need to do something first. I can't do it like this. That's more like it. Let's do this. I just want to point out that this cutscene right here is explaining mechanics we were taught 3 levels ago. And this one is telling me the outcome of the upcoming mission.
Splash!
So let's go ahead and find out what Shamu has in store. It's Atlantis. He finds Atlantis. Also, since when has Atlantis been the city of evil? So, since we're told how this mission turns out, we're told that this door is not the right door and that I have to find another door to get to Atlantis. I'm being told right now that what I'm doing is pointless, but I still have to fight this giant pufferfish instead of, I don't know, swimming around the door and over the gate into Atlantis? Is that not allowed? Okay, nope, no, I am being lied to. That is not a pufferfish, that is a f***ing dragon. So after fighting that abomination, we're told we have to find a key to open a gate, to find another key to open another gate, and that second gate is the one we were told is the door to Atlantis. But we can clearly see the other side of that door to Atlantis right there, so we shouldn't need the key at all. What? What is going on right now? Also, once we complete that mission, some fish steal our keys and we have to get them back. So in case you're not sure what's going on, let me just go ahead and summarize real quick for you. Shamu runs from the Kraken. He saves his friend. He runs towards the Kraken. He runs from the Kraken again. He finds Atlantis. He can't figure out how to swim over stuff and go into Atlantis, so he swims around and finds some keys to get into Atlantis. He gets the keys stolen, he gets the keys back, and he finally swims into Atlantis. This game has been 100% filler so far. We get into Atlantis and...
Ah, the great Atlantis Plaza. The light tower, the beam, the huge statue. It all makes sense now.
What? What makes sense now? I think everything makes less sense now that you just said that. What? So we move to this statue, I guess, and then Horatio gets captured by Greco-Roman guardfish things. What the hell did Horatio do to get onto Poseidon's hit list? The fish read Horatio his final rites, and by that I mean they shout in his direction. And then they take him away. So we do a mission where we follow Horatio and the fish, we save Horatio again, and he tells us Poseidon's plan.
Now listen closely, Shamu. Poseidon has plans to resurrect his city of Atlantis. He will float it to the surface and replace SeaWorld. He'll take the magic of the park away, and all of us who live in SeaWorld will be made his slaves forever.
Oh no, he's gonna make you slaves? That's so much worse than what you're doing at SeaWorld. Also, we have to find more gates to get into Atlantis again, for some reason. Now we've finally made it into Atlantis, I think. Shamu has to stop the city from being floated to the surface by destroying these crystals or something, and then he fights the Kraken, trying to stop it from pulling Atlantis up with its tentacles. And by fights, I mean Shamu slaps the Kraken's tentacles 100 times, hoping that the hits actually work. Then Shamu runs from the Kraken one more time, and the Kraken runs into the statue at the center of Atlantis and dies, I think. And suddenly Poseidon. Shamu fights Poseidon in a 2D plane while Poseidon spams 3 different attacks that don't actually work. There's the ice ball that you can hit back at him, the shadow ball that doesn't actually do damage, and the eye lasers that can kill Shamu in one hit. Guess which 2 he telegraphs really slowly and which one comes out immediately. So after you've hit him 12 times, which can take forever by the way because of the RNG, Poseidon enters a fist fight with Shamu, and Shamu wins. Yeah, Shamu gets into a fist fight with the god of the ocean, and wins. He doesn't even have fists. And then Poseidon just kinda leaves, and Shamu goes back to totally not being a slave at SeaWorld. This story makes no sense. I'm pretty sure in my synopsis I skipped like 5 or 6 missions that mean absolutely nothing to the plot. It's just bad. Like really bad. I'm gonna give it a bronze bolt, and even that might be way too much. Shamu has 3 types of gameplay styles. There's these Crash Bandicoot style run from the camera segments, these really awkward 2.5D segments, and these even more awkward 3D segments where you're swimming towards something. For the last of those 3, there's even a mission where you have to physically move Shamu's tail up and down using the left analog stick, but it's only in that mission, and I'm not sure why. On top of these gameplay types are insanely simple mechanics such as hit the levers, or follow this exact Simon Says we're going to pretty much do for you. And that's on top of those water puzzles I mentioned earlier. Oh, by the way, the correct path for the outer ring of those puzzles has a blue coloring on it right where the water would come in, meaning you only need to figure out 2 of the 3 rings. That just makes the mechanic even more pointless, but hey, it's there because we need gameplay, I think. Now, to his credit, Shamu at least has a decent enemy variety, from snakes, to gladiator octopuses, to mines, to some crabs, to enemy anemones, and so on. By the way, try saying enemy anemones 5 times fast. Though for some reason the snakes do more damage than the explosive mines, so that's a thing. There's also boss variants for some levels, like this big crab early on. Am I even doing anything? Are my attacks working? I'm pretty sure Shamu's kiss isn't working. Oh, okay. I guess it does work, but it takes 30 hits for it to actually tell you it works. Let's go ahead and talk about Shamu's special moves really quick. For collecting Kraken crystals, Shamu can unlock new abilities that most of the time outright don't work. Then again, it doesn't seem like any attacks work consistently in this game, so maybe that's just par for the course. These abilities have really weird fighting game button combos that you need to press within like 3 frames for the attacks to start, and they use food when you attack with them. Oh yeah, food. To do any special moves, many of which are necessary to progress, you need food. When you hit an enemy or find these shrimp hanging out in the level, you get food and health. When you get hit, you lose food and health as well. I'm honestly not sure why food is a separate thing from health because they're pretty much permanently tied together. When your health is below half, for example, you lose food every second or so for no discernible reason. Although I'm not entirely sure if I'm covering all the bases with food because it seems to just randomly change sometimes. Each mission also has a bonus objective for killing every enemy, but I'm fairly certain that's impossible because killing enemies takes like 10 to 20 hits each and there's not enough oxygen in the level for you to do that in one go without dying. But thank God dying's meaningless. Your penalty for death is losing 100 points, which I'm pretty sure is meaningless because the score doesn't actually matter at all. Thankfully, the game also gives you a mini-map that shows you, well, the entire map. So if for some reason you wanted to 100% this game, you might have an idea of where all the enemies and collectibles are. That's pretty nice actually, since the level design is all over the place. It's mostly just an open mess with enemies littered every few feet. It makes Echo the Dolphin's level design look like friggin' Mario 3 by comparison. There's not much more to say, really. Shamu moves so quickly and jerks around the screen in 3D sections, but then he's sluggish and momentum-based in 2D, and I can never get quite used to it because, again, it never seems consistent. I often just find myself eating the hits because I don't care enough about the bad mechanics to try and perform decently, especially when you're essentially rewarded for dying with a full health bar and full oxygen meter. I wish I could say I'm forgetting some silver lining, but honestly, if I'm missing something here, it's probably also terrible. Bronze Bolt. Shamu's presentation might be the best thing about the game, but that still isn't saying much. Actually, no, let me specify. Shamu's soundtrack might be the best thing about the game. This game is pretty ugly. There's a reason you don't see games based entirely underwater that often, and it's because there isn't much to do with the concept. Either you're gonna start good and get bland, or you're gonna start bland and get worse. You can go ahead and guess which of those fits Shamu here. Levels almost never differentiate themselves visually, so if you showed me a screenshot of a level, I probably can't tell you where that level takes place in terms of plot. The one decent thing is that there are some interesting designs for enemies, such as that gladiator octopus I mentioned earlier, but even then, the colors of the enemies, like everything else, feel incredibly faded. Now let's just discuss the audio for a minute here. Horatio's voice actor was seemingly directed to speak in segments. Just go ahead and listen to this and you'll have an idea of what I mean.
Great! You found our Kraken crystal.
That happens every time you pick up an item. There's also a voice clip of Horatio telling you to surface when you're low on oxygen, but you can't actually surface at any mission except the final one, and in that final one you don't even have an oxygen meter. The other sounds, such as the one Shamu makes when hitting an enemy or getting hit, are terrible. The bosses are all dragons for some reason, like I mentioned earlier. And I'm just gonna go ahead and show this again. Oddly enough though, the soundtrack isn't terrible. It's poorly directed, with upbeat songs such as "We May or May Not Have Started the Fire," playing during serious missions, but it's at least not awful. It sounds tropical, and while I'm fairly certain there's only maybe 6 songs, I can't knock the songs themselves too much. Lastly, this game is poorly optimized. I didn't know a PS2 game in essentially pristine condition could take this long to load, but apparently it's possible. So the game has one silver lining hidden in a bunch of garbage. It's still getting a bronze bolt.
Postcard.
No, this game has no redeeming factors that I can credit it for. This is a bad game. A very bad game. I can't say it's one of the worst games I've ever played because it's still functional somehow, but it comes pretty close. Don't play this game, unless you're just trying to riff on it with your friends. Actually, no, even then don't play it. There are much better choices to make fun of than this game. So, with Shamu out of the way, I want to see what games you guys want to see me tackle next. So, in the comments down below, just comment any game, list of games, one game, good game, bad game, I don't care. As long as I can play it, that game's going to go into a hat that I'm going to pick a game out of in the next couple weeks. In the meantime, I'll be reviewing a couple games here and there, whatever I feel like reviewing at the time. Hopefully you guys will choose some good games. Hopefully you guys want to see me tackle games that you like, and we'll see if I like them too. Or you guys can make me suffer. I prefer the former. I'd really prefer the former. But hey, it's up to you guys now. So, with that all said, as always, thanks for watching.